Welcome, everybody, to Let's Talk, the Todd Worsham Show. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining in. Today's episode is Making of Man. So, how old do you think we are? Good question. I know it's weird, but I wonder that sometimes. So, I do research here and there. And in my, for those of you who watch my show, you know that I like ancient archaeology, my little hobbies. And getting into that, I realized that man is a lot older than we think we are. And it just blows my mind how just in the last 200 years, how fast we've grown intellectually, and and how much stuff we've invented and what our lifestyles. Just think about what life would be 250 years ago. That's like back when our country was founded. Wow. Um, wood stoves, cutting your own wood, um, no cars, no car insurance, no phones. Had to wash all your laundry probably down the local creek, or had to drill for a well and pump water up. And life was completely different than what it is today. And we've done all that in 250 years. But how old are we? Well, in Africa, they found some footprints that were dated back about 3.5 million years ago. They're humanoid footprints. I read an article on something that popped up on one of my feeds, and it was about a humanoid tooth they found. They dated it back to 4 million years. Now, they don't use the word human, they use the word humanoid because it's like us, but it's not us. And that was 4 million years ago. And like this footprint, 3.5 million years ago. So, I mean, what does that mean? Does that mean that there is that humans, or does that mean there was other species here before us, like long time ago? What does it mean? I don't know. I mean, from all the research I've done, my thought patterns tends to go to planet Earth has been a place to stop at for a long time by many different species of humanoids or reptilians or cat people or whatever is out there. Lyria, I think they're Lyrians, something like that. Reptilians and Polarians and Talgarians, and I can't even say them all. There's so many of them. But at any rate, so I mean, if you think about it, when you're growing up and you're going to church and you're being preached that man was in the made in the image of God, and then you sit there and you scratch your head and you're like, well, is God black? Is he Jew? Is he Asian? Is he Caucasian? If we're all made in his image, what is his image? I mean, that's just me as a child. I mean, it totally confused me because I'm like, well, I don't understand. So if we're all made in the image of this person, what does this person look like? Is he like multicolored? Does he have no color? I mean, is he just, I don't know. But I always thought about that I remember as knee-high to a grasshopper, I thought about that. And there was other things in the Bible that kind of, I didn't really, I don't know. I just questioned, but the church would never answer. They'd never give me like a real answer. So I don't know, whatever. But at any rate, so doing my own research, I found out that, I found I started with the Anunnaki. I think I've probably said this in, I don't know, multiple different videos, but that's what got me sucked into this. And then I ended up with the Sumerian tablets, the creation tablets. And then you take the Bible, you take Genesis from the Bible, put it on the creation tablets, and they match up fairly well. It's mind-boggling. And the creation tablets were written 4,500 years ago. So 2,500 years before the Bible. It's a long time. I mean, that's. And think about it. Modern society has only been around for 250 years, and you're talking a span between the cuneiform tablets and the Bible. You're talking a span of 2,500 years. 2,500. I mean, that's crazy. That's so. What happened to man for those 2,500 years? I mean, what was he doing? I mean, we know what we know it because we know the Egyptians and the Romans and we know history, but I don't know. It's just crazy. How do we just go from that to this? I mean, it mind boggles me. So most mainstream agrees that probably the oldest human bones to this date found are around 230,000 years. So I don't know if that includes because I didn't Google it. I think they found a body in Antarctica or Arctic. I think they call her Lucy. I'm not really sure, but I don't know how old she is, but I know she's like really old. But I don't know if she's older than that or not. But just bringing that up. So yeah, most of the mainstream says around 230,000. But I mean, we found body parts. They just found a hand or something that's a three-fingered hand, and it's estimated to be around 3.5 million years old. So, and again, that's I really didn't research that one really deep to see how it was analyzed and what the methodology was behind all that. So I'm not going to back that one up. I didn't research it, but it is out there, and it could just be clickbait. I don't know, because a lot of things are. So yeah, because according to back to the Anunnaki, and Anunnaki is those from heaven who came to earth. So let's just start there. So Anunnaki is a plural. It's not a singular. Just like Elam, the Jewish word God, which God insinuates singularity, and the true meaning of Elam is plural, which means more than one. But whatever, we won't. So I think I talked about that a couple weeks ago, but a few weeks ago. So yeah, those who came from heaven to earth. So it's not a single species. So we know that. So then it kind of lines up with the Bible because the Bible's telling us that we were created in the image, right? Well, if you read the Sumerian tablets, it talks about Enel and Enki, and then one of the books that didn't get put in the Bible was the Book of Enoch, which I think I've said probably multiple times that I recommend everybody go on YouTube and there's videos where you can just turn it on and listen to it while you're doing your dishes or doing whatnot. I think it's probably about an hour and a half long. And the Book of Enki, read those books, and it'll explain a lot of the events in the Bible that you think is mythical. But if you read those books, you'll see how things really were. And yeah, it's mind blowing. So, and again, man, just decided that we're not going to go down the spiritual road because I have no. If everybody's spiritual like Emmanuel wanted and Mary Magdalene, if everybody was spiritual like they wanted, there wouldn't be any of this crap. There wouldn't be any um, corrupt government, people abusing people, rape, pillaging, crime. All that stuff would be gone because they want us to get into our spiritual contact and be one with the heavens. And we have that ability to do that. And I firmly believe this. I firmly believe that we have this ability. All of us do. I do. I believe this. I believe it's starting with love and getting all hatred out of you. And the more that you get hate out of you, and the more that you're happy and you're loved and you feel loved, and you love yourself, things just start happening. Things just start getting better. So it's all connected. And um, that's what Emmanuel was teaching. He wasn't teaching religion. He wasn't teaching anything like that at all. But man construed it like we do. So, how old is man? Well, I was doing a little bit of research, digging a little bit further, and came across a website called earth.com. So I skimmed it, went through the articles, see if they were biased one way or the other, right or left. I don't care which way. See if they were biased. They seem to be pretty neutral. And they found two separate universities that did two separate studies to find out if any type of man lived with dinosaurs. So I immediately sucked into this like a Hoover. So I dove right into this article, and they explained the methodology, how they got their analysis, and all that kind of stuff. It was broken down. It was pretty good. So I'm going to go with it for now, unless it's proven completely wrong. But I wouldn't doubt this because, but maybe I don't know. So anyway, what they're saying is on the Earth.com article is the study that these two independent universities did found that mammals, man, bats, and dogs lived with dinosaurs before the extinction, 66 million years ago. And it's really cool how they came up with this. They were able to analyze the rocks all the way down to the molecular level and find DNA from all of these animals, dinosaurs, and everything all put together in the rock, all crushed together at the same time. So they know on a molecular level that these things existed at once together. And all mainstream will tell you is that's a lie. It's a fantasy. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know who to believe. It doesn't surprise me because I watch a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of information out there that talks about that this planet's been visited for millions and millions and millions of years, like probably 450 million years. Species have been coming here and settling down on our home. So, I mean, think about it. Let's just take Israel, for example. The further they dig down in Israel, the older and older and older buildings and dwellings that they find. Can you imagine if we could dig 200 feet down into Iraq, Samaria, right? Can you imagine if we could dig down there and find everything down there that was from, 5, 6,000, 10, 12, shit, probably 20,000 years ago. The same thing with Egypt. I mean, I can remember when they used to tell us that the pyramids were like 4,500 years old. And I'm thinking, that's laughable. There's just no way. I mean, when you look at the pyramids and they tell you it's the Bronze Age, and all they had was bronze chisels and bronze hammers or rocks to cut granite in a precision form down to like the nano 90-degree angles, rocks that you can't even get a piece of paper through. You can't even slide a piece of paper between them. They're so perfectly cut. And they did that. I mean, I'm not saying they didn't, but I'm just saying probably the probability of that being true is probably not good, because according to our knowledge, these people didn't have the tools to make those type of precision cuts. For like that esophagus that's inside the pyramid, that's pure granite, weighs hundreds of tons. I mean, how in the hell did they carve that with brass or copper or whatever they had, bronze? How they cut that granite? That's like trying to cut a butter knife with butter. I'm not believing that one. I'm not. I'm not picking up what you're putting down. Not on that one. That one's just that's too far out there. So So, how old is man really? I don't know. And I feel that in the future, that's going to be answered to us. I think I've made statements on earlier shows that I believe that there's going to be an awakening soon. Um, I'm not like in some cult, and I'm not like worshiping something or doing anything like that or drinking Kool Aid. I'm just, I don't know how to explain it. I can just feel it in my bones. The world feels like it's turning, and it feels like the world's getting into a lot better energies and frequencies. And I just feel like good things are going to start happening. So I'm kind of excited, and I could be totally wrong. I mean, that's just it's just my internal intuition. It's not anything um, exo. It's not anything out from anywhere else. It's just my internal gut feeling that I think things are going to come for full circle, and I think we're in the process of that right now. Really do. And then I think when that happens, and we all are able to establish a contact or connection with the Acacia Records, which I believe that a lot of us will start learning or having the capabilities of doing. And once we do that, then we'll learn a lot of this stuff, and then we'll understand it, and things will be our knowledge will be unlimited. I think so. So that's one reason why I do this show, because I just like to learn things, and then I like to teach things. I like to inform people. I just like to spread knowledge. It's just dumb stuff, but I mean, it's it's just cool to talk about and cool to research, and I hope it helps you. I hope I plant seeds, and you guys think about things. Even the Anunnaki. I mean, the Sumerian tablets. Just go read those. I mean, just go read the creation tablets. It's just a cool thing to do, and you can just YouTube it on your phone. You can YouTube it on your TV, um, and it's just some food for thought. And it's not it's not a belief or a cult or anything like that. It's archaeological findings. I mean, they're hard, factual, tangible items that have writing on them that tell a story that were written 4,500 years ago, and it's mind-boggling. I mean, the Sumerians, um, they what's the word I want to use? I'm brain farting. They they documented everything. Uh, Johnny borrowed, you know, three chickens from John, or John did this, or and then they had like even like a court system. They found like 750,000 of these tablets, and the last I looked it up, there was only 130 people on the planet that could transcribe them. So 130 people and 750,000 tablets. Those tablets will never be translated in my lifetime. And that's a shame. But a lot of it's just daily, everyday thing. So it's really kind of cool. And I highly suggest you look them up. And then go to the Bible. I challenge you, go to the Bible and open up Genesis and start reading Genesis and start reading the creation tablet, and you're going to be going, whoa, wait a minute. This was written before the Bible, and how long before the Bible? So I don't know. And then you get into it, and it explains how we were created and how long it took for us to be created and why we were created. It's Zachary Sitchin has a book out about it, the Anunnaki. I mean, he explains all that because I believe he was one of the first people to completely translate it. Because I don't think we could have translated it until we found that stone, Rosetta Stone. I think the Rosetta Stone, I think, is what opened up for the cuneiform, but I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure it did. But then that's when it got translated by Zachary, and he's dead now. But he wrote a book about it, um, and after then, of course, he's been um, what's the word? He's been contradicted, and people say his research wasn't proper, and because completely goes against religion. It goes against what we were taught to believe. It goes against everything that we know the creation tablets do. But it's really cool because it's over like I think a 450,000 year period, and they explain, like how one of their years was like 3,600 of our years. So in our years, it took a long time our because of where we're at on our planet. But the planet they were from, it gets complicated. All I can say is just read it because I don't want to give things away. It's a pretty cool story. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. I don't know if I believe everything that's in there. I don't know if I believe everything's been translated correctly. Um, I haven't seen too many corrections that were so far out that completely changed anything. So as far as I know, up to date, Zachary's translation is pretty mainstream, and I haven't heard anything on the side about it. If I did, if I did, I would say but I haven't. So, but anyway, so that right there is 450,000 years, and then again, you like watch. You can watch channelers on YouTube. You can watch on Gaia channel. You can watch people who say they access the Akashic records. People who say that they talk to people in other dimensions. And there's all these people who get all this information from all over the place, and they all say kind of the same stories. They're different, but they're kind of the same. And one thing that is the same is that species has been coming to this planet for millions and millions of years, and they all agree upon that story, no matter who they're in touch with, whether it's the Pelagians, the Tigans, the Lyrians, the Reptilians, all the different species that most of the channelers are in touch with. So, but I don't know, because I mean, there's no tangible proof on that. I mean, you're relying on all these people who are saying that they're in like a telepathic contact with a being that's in a different dimension. And for a lot of people, you can't comprehend that, because then you sit there and think, well, what do you mean a different dimension? What does that mean? So let's just take a light bulb. Light bulb is at what, 60 cycles, 60 hertz or something, whatever. Well, hertz is frequency. Yeah, so 60 hertz, right? So if you change the frequency on that light bulb, we won't be able to see it, but it's still on. Well, that's how the different, what people call dimensions, but they're actually densities, because they're actually frequencies. They're like hertzes. They change frequencies, and as you change frequencies, there's things you can and can't see. So, and I believe in this because, and I think I've mentioned this on other programs, but as a child, when I grew up, I could see things that weren't like here. So, and they were clear as day. I mean, I used to sit in my bed and watch them. I used to watch cows walk through my bedroom, and beanstalks, and chickens, and sometimes people, and I worked on the Queen Mary, and I could probably do a whole episode on that one. But anyway, so I kind of believe that because when I was younger, I experienced that. That was my personal, actual experience. And of course, I didn't say anything to anybody because, back in the 70s, people would look at you. What do you mean ghosts? What do you mean, like, what do you mean animals walking through your room? Are you on drugs? Whatever. But I was young. I was really young, maybe 9 years old. I don't remember, but I can still to this day remember seeing. I can see all that, and so I know that there's something going on. I mean, I know that, and then I don't know. I got older and it just disappeared. I lost my ability to do that. I mean, so, but I mean, I can still feel things. I can feel when entities come in the room, or I can feel energy change. I can feel temperature change. So I still have some type of, I don't want to use the word ability, but I still have some type of sense, I guess you could say. So, at any rate, I'm on a path of getting back to finding that sense, and hopefully starting a new journey. We'll see. Starting with all this stuff. So, to answer the question, how old is man? I don't know. Could be hundreds of millions of years old, or we could have been. I think human. Okay, I think it's kind of like a double. It's a double shotgun question because when you say man, do you mean us, like Earthlings, or do you mean like the humanoids, like the bipods? People like us with a head and two arms and two legs and walk bipedal. So, what category are you talking? So, if you're talking humanoid, I think you're talking hundreds of millions of years, maybe billions. Now, if you're talking us, I'm going to go with the cuneiform tablets, and I'm going to say probably 450,000 years is when we started. Now, when did we get a soul? When did we become connected to the universe? That I don't know, but I'm on a journey of learning that because that's the question I really want to know. Because to me, that's when we became human. Is when we got our souls, when we became part of creation. And I don't think that was always. I think while we were being developed or while we were evolving, we didn't always have the capability of a soul. And I don't know what time period that would be when we got that. I don't know if it's when you know, if I were to guess, I would say probably somewhere around the Egyptian period or maybe a little earlier than that. So, but I don't know. It's hard to tell because we can prove that caveman did some kind of modern things. They worship things, but they did things that show that they had a higher understanding of things. So, and then all of that in some of these articles, they've found that man's made fire way back earlier than they even thought possible. And they found tools and they found hunting items, spearheads, and they found all kinds of stuff that's dated way back further than recently um, thought. So I don't know. It's hard to know. But I believe man is pretty old. I don't know, 450,000 years old or millions of years old. I know I feel old. Oh, especially in this Arizona heat. Oh my God. Anyway, so hope the show wasn't too slow for you. Seemed like I was like in a slow motion mode today, so I apologize, but rough day at the office. No, I'm good. Every day is above ground is a good day. So anyway, I appreciate you joining in. Tune in next Thursday for a new episode, and we'll see what we can talk about. And I appreciate it, and thank you very much. Goodbye.